Hello, everyone. My name is Josh. Welcome to my podcast, The Win Button. This is podcast number one. I'm starting off very humbly. I've been in a while, but at the same point, you got to start somewhere. So I thought I'd just put myself out there, start this up. I've been writing a blog for a while, so I wanted to, in particular, this episode, I wanted to talk about one of the articles I wrote called 21 Things I Learned from 21 Years in the Military. So I've been in the military for 21 years. Currently E9, there you go, Marine Corps, yeah. But looking back, I wanted to, share some knowledge. I know that mentorship is not as strong as it was when I was growing up. One of the reasons I survived in the Marine Corps because I had great mentors. So I wanted to express some of that stuff. Usually on the podcast, we're also going to talk about different things of relationships and money and military. I'm a firm believer that you can have it all. You can have a military, you can have a successful family, and you also can have money in your pocket and money for building wealth as well. So you can have everything, and you can have a good time doing it all. So join the group, Facebook group, Military Family Investing. Yeah, we started that up a couple months ago when I got to Okinawa, which is where I am now. My family, is not here with me. So, I have a lot of free time. I thought I'd make use of it, everything else. I want to be respectful to your time. I don't want to keep this thing going too long. It's 4:35, so I definitely want to, take about 30 minutes, go over the 21 things, and go from there, okay? So with that, let's get into it. Okay, it says, be on time. Timeliness is a trait that everyone expects from a person in uniform. Don't disappoint them. Like I said, I'm enlisted 21 years. Officers do their own thing, but enlisted, always be 15 minutes prior to the day you die. Not only do you get to see a lot of things that are going on behind the scenes, you get to solve problems, whether it be a PowerPoint malfunction or anything of that nature. There's a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, a missing Marine, and you want to be there on time or early so that you can correct those before the officers do show up. Okay. Try to be clean and organized. Life happens, but a military person should take time to clean their work and living spaces. Okay, so as you can see, my bed's made over there, and my room, my camera's kind of funny right now, so I can't really show you my room, but my room is clean and organized, and it's a part, even when you get married and things of that nature, you have to be organized. We have kids everywhere, and their stuff is adding up. Luckily, my wife is very clean as well, so we have a very good working relationship like that. But that's self-explanatory. Be clean. Be clean. Be a good follower. Most of the time, you will not know exactly what is happening. Then one day, you will be the person who knows the most. Until that day, listen and learn. It happens just like that. One day, you're a follower. You're doing your best to follow, and before you know it, everybody around you is younger than you. And that happens right around the time you hit gunny. And before you know it, you're a gunny, E7, and your captain's been in 4 or 5 years, and your warrant officer's been in less than you, and you've been to combat, you've done all of these things, and you're the man now, or woman, and that's important. It's important to know. So always listen, learn, and enjoy it while you have somebody telling you what to do, because one day you won't. Treat your team as if they're a family. Family can be hard on each other, but it is for the betterment of the individual. Do not belittle or demean others. Okay, I'm not gonna say I'm old school hardcore Marine. I came in 1999, but it was different there, and there was a lot of belittlement. There was a lot of senior leaders that were mad because they were going through a divorce or had alcohol problems and yada yada yada, and they took it out on the junior troops. And there was a lot of good ones. So don't get it twisted. There was a lot of good ones. There's a lot of great Marines growing up as well. But you will learn that negatively, to stay away from that stuff. You can correct a Marine very tactfully. If you expect to be treated tactfully, then treat your Marines tactfully, and you won't have any issues. Okay, there comes a time and place where you might have to yell. Just don't do it for the wrong reasons, and don't do it to belittle somebody. If all else fails, unless it's a safety concern, pull that person aside. I say Marine, so catch me. This is for anybody. This is for leadership in general. I'll say Marine because I'm used to talking to Marines. So if you hear me say Marine, I mean anybody. But pull that person aside because it means a lot more, and they'll take it to heart more, than getting blasted over and over again. Trust me, I grew up like that, and I still remember the times I got blasted. It wasn't fun, you know. Take care of your family. Taking care of your family is more than being there for their dentist appointments. You have an obligation to your family to try and achieve higher success in the military. Okay, so what that means is there's a lot of younger people, senior people, that to them taking care of family is going to every single doctor's appointment. Wife's pregnant, they're there. Wife's sick, they're there. This, and I get that. That's part of life as well. But also that means taking the burden of trying to get promoted, trying to volunteer for things you don't want to do if it's going to get you promoted. That's a part of life. You can't have it both ways. You can't get promoted and volunteer to be with your family, and then also try to get promoted and volunteer to be away. Okay, you have to walk that fine line of, okay, granted I'm gonna spend time with my family, but I'm also gonna volunteer for this 2 week course or this 1 month course, or I got to go on deployment again because somebody else in my competition has a deployment, things of that nature. So you got to make sure that you are truthful to the military and also truthful to your family. Okay, there comes a point. Okay, do everything you can to get promoted. There comes a time when your career is in your hands. You have decision making authority. You can go to college, volunteer for deployment, go get a job, or go to a job school, do everything in your power to be successful. No one else will do it for you. So, after the first few ranks, it is your promotion's in your hands. You can sit around and pray to get E7, or you can go get your college degree. You can go to additional schools. You can go on more deployments, learn a different language, get that kind of pay. Do foreign training. There's so much stuff you can do that you can volunteer for, and learn different parts of your own job. Volunteer for different MOS training, job training. There's so much that you can do to stand out, but it's all on you. Nobody's going to make you do it. There might be a critical shortage of a job that you have to go to, but for the most part, nobody's going to make you get promoted. The military needs a lot of E6s. So if you want to stay E6, stay E6. But you're going to have to go in there. It's your own dedication, your own sacrifice is what's going to get you promoted. Okay, communicate with your spouse or your loved one. If you do need to volunteer for deployment or a long school, explain why it is important to your career. The more they know, the more they can understand why you make certain decisions. You have to break it down for them. Chances are they're not in the military, whether that be your spouse, your loved one. If you do have to do these volunteers, explain what are the benefits, what's the cost benefit, cost analysis of what you're doing this for. Okay, I know it's gonna cost me time with my family, but in the long run, it's gonna make us more money. We're gonna get promoted. We're gonna get to a different job, different permanent change of station somewhere else. Maybe we can get overseas, whatever it is. But you want to make sure that you're running that by them. Okay, they don't necessarily have all the tools to make a decision for you, but you have to let them know why you're leaning in that direction. I know I had to volunteer when I got back. I would volunteer to go to Afghanistan because deployments were drying up at that time, and I had to get on that first thing smoking once I got out of Japan. And so when I got back to the States, I say, hey, Christine, I had to get out there. I had to get into Afghanistan. It's what I have to do, and so I did. Okay, seek mentorship. It's not your superior's job to seek you out and guide you. Most people want to assist younger military members, but they are not going to hunt you down. Let them know that you are hungry for knowledge. Okay, this is an easy one. I don't know who cares. I can't tell. I can try to see who's motivated and who's gonna, it's not even about sticking around past the first enlistment. It's about just who is a good person, who wants to learn in general. I don't mind helping somebody who's going to be a civilian in 3 years. It doesn't bother me at all because I know they're going to be a great human being. But I can't tell who cares. Show that you care. And the mentorship, the natural mentorship ability of people will come out. But you have to be open to that. If you're late, if your uniform's messed up, if you have an attitude, I don't need to fight through it. I just make you do what I need you to do, and then I gotta move on. I'm not going to have a long conversation with you. I just say, hey, go pick up the trash, man. Get out, right? But if you're engaged, if you're asking questions, what can I do? How can I better myself? I'm definitely going to sit down and have that long conversation, whether it be an E3, an E1, or E8, E9 officer. Doesn't matter. I'm definitely going to have that conversation with people that care. That's what a lot of people enjoy doing. But we've been burned so many times by trying to fight uphill against hard-headed people that, that's not our natural thing anymore. It has to, that mentorship side has to come out of us, okay? Have fun. This will be the best of times and the worst of times. But when you look back, it is almost always the best of times. Don't spend your time complaining. Okay? So it's a great time. The military is a great time. Yeah, it's hard. Sometimes you work long hours. Sometimes you go on deployment, do things that probably you don't want to do or see things you don't want to see. But overall, it's a great. You're not going to find this kind of brotherhood anywhere else, sisterhood, personhood, whatever you want to call it. So you're not going to find it anywhere else. This is a once in a lifetime gig. I'm glad I'm still in there. I'm glad I didn't get out a year ago. I'm glad that I still had the opportunity to lead Marines and be around Marines and other military folk. It's to me, it's the time of my life. You know, I can't ask for anything better than to do this. But you had to think about it that way. You know, you're going to end up in places you might not want to be. But I mean, you look back, there's almost no negative you can see out of there. Okay, there's almost nothing negative. Okay, make friends. You will form lifelong friends throughout your service. People from all walks of life. You don't know who is who, so spend time getting to know everyone. Okay, man, I have so many great friends. My boy Terry, we go back till when I was in MSG duty, which is the embassy guard back in Africa. Back in 2002, I met him. September 2002, so coming up on 18 years now, or right over 18 years. And we're still buddies, still talk all the time. You are going to meet some strange characters. You're going to meet some great people long term, you know. And a lot of times their career might not work out, or, you know, they might be going through a hard time, and you have to reach out and, you know, chime in, help them out a little bit. But at the same point, I mean, you're going to meet some great people. This is the brotherhood. This is the sisterhood. This is what it's all about out here, okay? So, but you had to be open to making friendships. Don't come in, sit on your computer, and focus. This is not the civilian role. This is the one in your life chance opportunity to make some really, really great friends. Make the best of each duty station. You may end up in the desert or the snow, East Coast or West Coast, Japan or Korea. Make the best of it. If you stay positive, you will have an amazing time. I've been all over the world. I never even been on an aircraft when I joined. And the first time I got in an aircraft was going to MOS school to Pensacola, Florida. And so, I mean, I've been stationed in South Carolina, Florida, Arizona, California, Japan a couple times, 3 times actually now, and then on my embassy duty tour, okay? So I've been all over, plus different deployments, different operations, different places like that as well. I would have never thought I'd be a world traveler, but I am now, and it's, you know, I've seen a lot of different cultures and things of that nature. I loved it, okay? Follow the rules. It is that simple. Follow the rules. You do not want to lose your career over something as small as this, okay? Follow the rules. They will tell you exactly what to do. All you have to do is do it. I've never seen a Marine burned for not at least trying to do the right thing. Situations occur where you might get stuck out past curfew or something like that. But if you're trying to do the right thing, I've never, in 21 years, seen a Marine burned for at least attempting to do the right thing. Okay? That doesn't mean stay out till 11:50 and try to, whatever the curfew is, and then 10 minutes prior try to catch a taxi ride, and you know, you have 10 minutes to get to curfew, but you're 30 minutes away. That's not doing the right thing. Okay? Plot. Remember I said, first point was be on time. Same thing happens in your off-duty time. Be on time. You're a 30-minute drive, so leave an hour and a half early. Get there, you know, barring excuses, everything else. Right? But if something happens, taxi driver breaks down, your car breaks down, immediately phone, and you'll be good. Follow the rules, and you'll be okay. I'm a prime example. I had some really good times in the Marine Corps. I'm telling you. However, you need to follow the rules. Manage your money. Please learn how to take care of your money. Learn how to save and invest, as well as stay out of debt and keep your expenses low. You will be a lot happier when you are not living paycheck to paycheck. And that's the main reason why I started military family investing. It is about relationships. It is about the military. It's also about your money, right? Once you get your money right, your life will change. I'm telling you that right now, okay? I started actually investing in the stock market like last year. And it's opened my eyes to a whole different lifestyle, a whole different thing. The reason why I'm putting myself out here now is because I learned how to invest. All right, it's going to build that confidence in you to do certain things, okay? But I'll go over that and all that financial stuff, and we'll talk about that later, okay? Ask invasive questions. Some of your buddies may fall upon hard times, and you will need to be able to ask the direct question. Are you feeling suicidal? This should be a question that you can ask any one of your buddies. I recently lost a Marine to suicide. Trust me, it's not fun. Okay. Yes, this is to my boy John. Uh, he killed himself. Okay, I don't know how. I don't know the details, but it's not fun. All right. John was a sergeant. We served together in Pensacola, my last duty station, and he was a good dude, man. He was a good dude. I would have never thought. I would have never thought he was a hardcore dude, man. I love that dude. But it's not fun. So when you're in the military, even in civilian role, it's you have to ask those tough questions. People fall upon hard times, and they're not going to open up. You have to ask them, and it'll bring them back to reality. I've had to ask people that question, okay, because you just got to do it, right? And if they are thinking about it, then snap them back into reality. If they aren't, they're just gonna laugh at you and say, "No, dude, of course not." And you say, "Okay, cool," but they're not gonna hate on you for asking. If they do, they're not your friend, or they probably are. Something is going on if they get defensive about it. Okay. Celebrate together. Part of what separates the military from being a civilian is our closeness to each other. Make sure that you celebrate victories, mission accomplishments, weddings, babies, and everything in between. Okay, this is a whole life world. Okay, this is relationships, investing, military. Okay, babies, marriages is all important. Okay, even if marriages fail and things of that nature, it's okay. It's okay that you celebrate it together. Okay, this is how we build those bonds. Every single thing, we do Thanksgiving together, we do Christmas together, we do all that stuff. Okay, that's what separates us. That's what separates the military from everybody else because we care. Okay. Take pictures. I'm so glad I took so many pictures. Looking back is a blast from the past, and you never know what the future holds. Okay, so I take a lot of pictures, and I'm glad I did. I'm starting to go through my collection. I'm pulling out all my wedding pictures, and I'm posting those, and all my marriage pictures. I'm doing that, and the reason why I post the marriage photos is because I don't know if a lot of people had a healthy parents parenting situation or marriage situation, or a lot of people don't have a positive view on marriage. And I listen to a lot of YouTube that says negative things about relationships and marriage and stuff like that. I had a great time being married. Okay, is it the easiest thing? No. Is it the hardest thing? No. It's two people that have their own opinions, right? And they had to try to form their, at best case, is one path and move on that path. Okay. And me and my wife have been through a lot. We've been to a lot of places. I've been to a lot of unaccompanied tours. This is my third one, 2-year tour. But as I look back at those pictures and I'm pulling them out and racking them up, and also my military life, I'm pulling those out, posting those because some people want to join the military. They don't know how it looks. You don't know what you do. You don't know where you're going to be at. I would love to look. I would have loved to look behind the scenes of a military person. Before I joined, instead of just looking at a boot camp drill instructor, watching Full Metal Jacket every day and thinking that, I don't know what to do, right? I would love to look behind the scenes and see, okay, he's at his duty station. Oh, he's moving around. Oh, he deployed. Oh, okay, these are his buddies. I see his buddies here. I see his buddies here. That looks cool, right? And he's on a truck. Just because he's a traffic control guy doesn't mean he can't drive a truck. I wouldn't have guessed that. I learned that when I got in, right? So that's why I'm pulling it out. So take the pictures, and then later on when you look back, at the very least, my kids are going to see them. Okay. Be humble. Infinite power corrupts infinitely. With great power comes great responsibility. These are two great quotes. You are a leader and there to serve others. Remember this. Okay. Infinite power corrupts infinitely. Okay. So what that means is power and rank will go to people's heads. Just don't let it go to yours. You're going to have to deal with these egomaniacs. Okay? That's just part of life. You are going to have to deal with these people. However, don't be one of them. Be humble. Whenever somebody says, hey, you're E8, you're E9, you're E7, turn it back around on them and say, hey, how are you going to get there? Are you going to be an officer? Are you going to be a warrant officer? Are you going to be a senior enlisted advisor? How do we get you there? Turn it back. As soon as they ask you something about yourself, tell them, about themselves and say, hey, how do you get there? All right, don't focus on yourself. You'll be okay. All right, now when you're back home with your wife, you can talk about yourself all you want. Grab some beer, talk about yourself, and inflate the ego, everything else. But when it comes time to being leader, be humble. And my other favorite one was, with great power comes great responsibility. Okay, that's from Spider-Man. With great power comes great responsibility. If you are E8, E7 in charge of a platoon or in charge of a company, that means something. That means you're in charge of people's lives. That means you have to care. Okay? Do not let this stuff go to your head, okay? Because when you get out, you're not going to have anything. Nobody's going to call you by your rank when you get out. They're going to call you Joe or Josh. That's it. When I get out, I'm just Josh. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about what I used to do. So always keep that mentality and you'll be fine. Okay. Learn the definition of leadership. Leadership is the art to influence others to accomplish a mission. The words art to influence stick out to me. Nowhere does it say yell at, demean, belittle, and backstab. You need to learn about your people in order to effectively lead them. Okay, again, leadership is the art of influencing others to accomplish a mission. It's an art. Okay? And influencing others. Influencing. You don't influence with a like that. Okay? That happens from time to time when, at the worst case, belligerent, you got to get this stuff done. That might have to happen on a day-to-day, normal basis. Learn. Everybody's led differently. You have to learn your people. Some people are 100% task-oriented. You give them a task, they run off, they can accomplish it. But it might be a computer task. They might not be good in front of people. You slowly want to bring that person up and build them up before you say, hey, go take that platoon and run them across and pick them up and do all this and charge the hill and all that stuff, okay? So you want to make sure that you are building your people up based on their capabilities and making sure that it's like a Tetris piece. Some people are good at certain things, some people are good at other things. I watched a weightlifting competition on base the other day. I'm 153 pounds right now. And these people are lifting 315. That's not necessarily my realm, right? However, if it was a running competition, which is something I like to do, then I would be more in my realm. So the Marine Corps is based and the military is based on different people having different capabilities. Remember that. In order to lead, learn your people. Like I said before, talk about their futures. What's in it for them? You don't have to tell them your stories and how you, unless they ask. All right, unless there is a time set aside for you to go into your embassy duty days or your air traffic control days. If you haven't guessed, I'm an air traffic control man, maintenance guy. We deploy air traffic control systems to the middle of nowhere and set up runways and set up airports. All right, I think it's one of the best jobs ever. But it's not all about you, okay? Talk about their futures. That is something they will always remember. Trust me. Challenge yourself. The military has a way of challenging you already. Whether it's going to combat or public speaking, you will constantly find yourself out of your comfort zone. However, you can challenge yourself even more. No need to hide. If you're scared of public speaking, you're going to be forced to public speak at some point. That's just the way it happens. All right. So the military is, you have to get in front of people. You have to know about everything going on, and that's also the challenge. Is sometimes you don't know, but you are the senior person there. All right, I don't know if my radar can do this, but let's do it. And that's what the people want to hear. All right, let's do it. Okay, you got to take ownership of it. Take ownership of your actions. Sometimes you're just making the best guess, 80% guess of what's going to happen, but when you're in combat and anything else, sometimes that's all you have. That's the challenge in the military, is that you don't have all the facts. There's not always a book or a manual to do the exact same thing. It's also the same thing when military people, Marines, get in trouble. All right? There's a letter of the law, but there's also personalities and things that happen and background stories, and how do you balance that with the black and white of what should be happening, okay? That's part of the military life. You have to balance what's happening and what's in black and white. That's the challenge. It is an honor to lead other humans through their life. You are an important part of someone else's life. They will probably never forget you. Do you want to be a good memory or a bad memory? This is very important. Those people doing 5 years, 4 years, and you're their sergeant, you're their E5, their E6, E7, E9, officer, whatever have you, they're going to remember you. Okay, so I've probably forgot more people than I've met at this point, because I see people and now I'm like, man, I know you from somewhere, but I've been around so long that I don't even know where I recognize people from. They might recognize me and they're like, I recognize you too. Or, but the younger guys are like, oh no, you were this. This is who you were back then. Oh, okay, yeah, got it. Right? So they remember that, especially if they're doing 4 years, they're only going to meet X amount of sergeants, right? Maybe 10, 15 sergeants. And if that's you, then remember that. Remember how you want to be. All right, it's easier for me to lead now because I have kids. My kids are getting older now. And I lead by the way I will want them, somebody to talk to them and lead them. They can be hard on them all you want. That's fine. That's great. But don't belittle them. Don't pick on them. Treat them with respect, right? And if you do all that, then they're gonna grow affinity for you. That's just the way life is. They want to be led. People want to be led. They might not know it, but they want to be led. People love discipline, right? And that's just part of life. So be a good leader. And if you don't know how to lead people, read on how to lead people. Practice leading people. The military is very structured, but you can also add your own structure. If you're in your job school and somebody doesn't tell you that you need to have a study muster, well, host a study muster. That's a form of leadership. You throw it out there. Somebody's struggling, you throw a study muster for 5 people, even though you really want to target that one person. That way that person doesn't feel bad. That's leadership. That's at the lowest form. That's E1, E2 level. All right, it doesn't change when you grow up. It's the same thing. If you have a situation in your squadron that needs to be solved, maybe you throw a group of people together and you try to throw some muscle into it and talk about it. You're in the military, but it's not all about direct orders. It's all about how do we best solve these situations, and if we have the time to solve it, we can. Right? Let's put our heads together. Let's see what we can do. Okay, it's a working relationship. All right, so that's about it. So that's about 27 minutes. Hopefully you guys like that. I'm going to be trying to do this, from time to time. I don't want to say once a week because I'm a military person. So I say once a week, then I'm stuck to once a week, and then it starts becoming, my mind is like that. Like I'm very detail oriented. But yeah, so please join the group if you're new. If you're not part of the group, join the group. Military Family Investing. So we do a lot of things in the group. We do right now we're in the middle of a weight loss challenge. So I'm down a couple pounds already. I'm feeling great. I think we're going to do a virtual 5K run for each of us in Thanksgiving. That's some idea I have to kicking around. We also, talk about finances and things of that nature. But we do a lot of stuff. We post pictures of life and things. It's fun. So hopefully you guys like that. And with that, I'm out.